Know this. Introducing the original Blood Clot podcast, not players. Soothing semantic. Special dedication. All the way from New York. Boom. Yeah, man. SWOT semantic. Yeah, me know. Boom. Soothing semantic. Yeah, me know. Big ups to the man. Soothing semantic.
Oh, right. How do you pronounce your name? It's Gould, right? Is it Gould or Gold?
It's Gould. Yep, you got it.
Like Golden Gate Bridge.
Exactly. Like the Gould Rush. Oh, wait. Yeah. A lot of people say Gold, but there's a football player, I don't know if you know, Robbie Gould, who spells it the same way as me, Gould, but he pronounces it Gold. So a lot of people assume it's Gold from that.
That's correct. Does Ludacris pronounce it properly?
Ludacris doesn't pronounce shit properly. So if we want to get a fight night scheduled, I'm saying we make it happen. Because
I hope so. I hope there's an alpaca involved, though.
Jesus, man, that guy.
No. We're not doing this today. Jake, wherever you are, stop.
What do you mean build a bear right on a workshop?
What the hell are you doing?
Get a real grizzly bear.
Get out.
Lower your voice.
Stop. Get
We're
out.
playing hide and seek. No, Snuffy, that doesn't count. He ruined my position.
Unbelievable out of him, and he's been on social media for what, like 10 years. He's got to know the rules. You don't just repost people's content without tagging them.
He didn't even tag you?
No, he didn't tag me.
Wow, that's cold shit. Because I remember you talking about it. I know he didn't tag you. Okay, let me give the little introduction.
All right.
Welcome to the Soothing Semantics podcast. I'm your host, Rafi Pinsky. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and leave any comments you'd like. Jake and I will get back to them. And today I have a very exciting guest, a hilarious dude, somebody I've been following for quite some time now, somebody who knows how to really piss off his dad. Welcome to the show, Jake Gould. How you doing, man?
Doing well. It says wait for applause right here, so just waiting for the applause. Okay. All right, good. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming. It did take a little bit of follow-up, but I was persistent, and I'm glad you took the time, bro.
I'm a busy man. I'm hard to get a hold of.
Absolutely. About as hard to keep together as that hair of yours.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know, right? I'm due for a haircut. What do you think? Grow it out or cut it?
You should, as long as it whatever pisses off your dad more, dude.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
So let me give a disclaimer for any of you that don't know who Jake is. Make sure you get to know him. I'm going to drop all the social media. He goes by Jake's Funny and has over 2 million followers on TikTok, has over 100,000 followers on Instagram, and pretty much is your dad always likes to bust your balls for being unemployed, as he's like an Ashkenazi Jewish father. And he's like, come on, Jake, what is all this that I raised you for? And you fucking pissing it away on whatever.
You sound more like him than he does.
It's also, I'm from Brooklyn, bro. So like, I feel like that's where it all stems from. That as soon as they got off the boats from Europe, they went straight into Brooklyn. They went into Ellis Island, Brooklyn. They developed that very nasally European thing. I don't know what happened, but I think no matter how. What?
Since you brought that up, our original last name, family last name, is actually Goldberg, and our great-grandfather changed it when he came here to sound obviously less Jewish. So we got it to Gould.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't think you mentioned that on the podcast with Ari Manis.
Nope.
Which I watched, by the way.
I'm breaking the news here. You heard it here first.
That's it. There's going to be a nice amount of questions that I'm going to ask that weren't asked on the podcast, previous one. So anyhow, guys, he likes to mess with his dad, and the videos are hilarious. And I'm going to post a bunch of them in this podcast. Make sure to follow him. He is doing hilarious things. I really, dude, I wish you much success. You're fucking hilarious, dude. So
yeah, I'm glad everyone enjoys my father's torture as much as that. It warms my heart.
The question is, though, at what point did he go from what the fuck is going on until, all right, it's just another day in the life? When did this really start? And what kind of happened in the beginning? Did he kind of just sit you down and ask, are you okay? Are you having problems, in your personal life? Like
he's been doing that my whole life. To some degree, I'm not doing much different than I have done my entire life with him. My brother and I have always done these types of things growing up since I could walk. Obviously, I'm putting an extra spin on it. I'm doing a little more high caliber things for TikTok. I wasn't just getting billboards of him, in my spare time before TikTok. But at the start, it kind of just was any day in the life, right? Nothing was really new. I was taking a bite out of a deodorant stick or turning the shower off on him, right? You remember they were fairly low caliber at the beginning, started out simple. So once I hit, I'd say the first two things that really kind of took the channel oh shit, like he's not fucking around anymore, was me getting the alpaca in the living room and then me belly flopping in a kiddie pool in the middle of our living room as well. Those were two.
I just showed my buddy this.
Yeah, I would never have done that before TikTok. So I guess after that, there was genuine anger when I belly flopped in the kiddie pool because I really did kind of flood the living room. Obviously, I cleaned it. I don't want you guys to think I'm a horrible person. I do clean up and try and salvage everything I do. But after that, he was a little angry. I talked to him about how I'm like, Dad, look, I think I had like 200,000 followers at that point, maybe 150,000. Like that, there's like actual light at the end of the tunnel for this. There's money. There's a life in this. This is a career. He didn't understand it at all. Now I think with 2 million followers, he does understand it, mainly because he's gotten recognized a handful of times now in public by himself, and he'll always tell me about it. And I think he likes that. So he does see that there is tremendous potential value in this.
What's crazy is that if it wasn't going anywhere, he would hate you for it, I imagine. Meaning, hate is a strong word, but he'd be like, can you fucking do something? Can you get your law degree? Can you become an accountant? You are pissing away everything I worked for. But now that he sees it's working, I feel like it's a total mindfuck. He says, this is not what I planned. This is not what I wanted my son to do, but it's working.
Well,
so what am I?
Of course, he wishes he wasn't the butt of every joke. But at the end of the day, he always wants what's best for me. So he knows if there's success to be had, then, good for me. But if he had it his way, I'd be doing something else for sure. There's no doubt about that.
What do you think he'd want you to do if he could have his way?
He wouldn't really. He's not like a strict, you need to become doctor, lawyer. He would just, he wants me to do what makes me happy at the end of the day. So he's fine. But I was into real estate. I remember when I started this, he was thinking, why don't you go into real estate? Like, why are you trying to be an asshole on camera for? I think, he's like, it's a much more lucrative career, respectable career. So I think real estate would have been the thing, because I got my real estate license actually a few years ago. And that's what I was planning to go into. But then you guys just kept liking my videos. So it's not my fault at the end of the day. I think it's your guys' fault. You guys are culpable.
100%. I'm glad to take full credit for that, man. I'm actually a realtor, so that's funny.
Oh, really?
That's very funny. But I'm cool with it for now. I just have this podcast is also a nice way for me to be quirky and different and just show who I am. And in real estate too, you can do that. Obviously not to the degree that you do, but you have some pretty quirky realtors. You have Ryan Serhant, if you know who he is. He's definitely an out of the box dude.
I'm not in the game anymore.
I got you, man. I totally get it. So what was your initial plan, or did you not have any plans when you first started making the episodes? Did you think that this might become something, or you totally just did it for shits and giggles?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I guess I'll say, first off, I did plan it. I did plan it more than anyone really thinks. I think a lot of people are successful on not just this app, but just in anything, plan out their content a lot, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is. So I studied the platform for a while. I actually made an account well over a year ago, and it had nothing to do with my father. This was back when the coronavirus started and I was cooped up in college. So I started making videos on my own. They didn't take off very well. Moved back in with my father. Pandemic kept going. So I said, let me hit the drawing board and think what I can do. And I was studying the app. I spent weeks and weeks. I actually have a Word document on my computer, which is like 60 pages long, of just notes before I even posted my first video. And I found these father-son pranks, which are very popular on the app, right? So I knew, to make a long story short, I knew I had the right content that could go viral. Father-son pranks, always a hit. I just had no idea whether it would go viral, right? So I was kind of rolling the dice, and it came up in my favor.
You did your data, so you're making it very clear that this wasn't just something you threw at the wall. Obviously, you took a chance with it, but you had 60 pages on Word. So I guess your father's teachings did pay off to a degree.
They
It
did.
sounds like you're definitely, it seems like you're a data guy to some degree. So it wasn't just,
So this was kind of a gamble, but what's funny, I have probably 25 videos filmed that will never see the light of day, most likely, that still again have nothing to do with my father. There were videos when I came back home, I was thinking of shticks. I was doing all these things. So I have a bunch of videos filmed that I never posted. Finally, I found the father-son niche. I said, this is what I'm happiest with. And I started posting, every day for like 3 weeks, and it just blew up.
wow, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Where do you kind of think, are you kind of thinking that this will allow you to maybe go into film? Is there something else that you're down to leverage with this big platform you have? Obviously endorsements, advertisements, promotions, those are all a side effect, and I even see that you're doing some of that, and you're it's so good. You're so good at that. Preparation H, bro, it killed me.
Oh yeah.
Dad, what'd you spill?
Oh, that's a
Yep, that's my old man, and he suffers from terrible hemorrhoids.
There we go.
Once a spry young buck, now just another swollen lump in his rump.
Can you at least not be
So
an
this
idiot?
Father's Day, give Dad the gift of Preparation H.
Jake,
Thanks to Preparation H, my dad can finally do the things he loves, like watching the game
I'll be in the
and
car.
yelling at his son. Preparation H, it's what Dad's been itching for.
Yeah, Preparation H has not paid me for that. I'm very angry. I want to turn that into something. Actually, fun fact, I'm trying right now to get a Preparation H sponsored billboard, much like the erectile dysfunction one.
If you reach out to them, man, and I imagine they've seen it, they have to have seen
Oh, they have. They reached out to me, actually. Dude, I wish I'm not there right now. I'm not at my dad's place. We have a care package this big full of Preparation H products. They sent it to us after, and they said, here, take care of your dad's ass. And it's just a shit ton of hemorrhoid cream and wipes and things like that. So that was awesome.
So yeah, dude. So why haven't they done it yet? I mean, why aren't they actually?
I'm currently in talks. I messaged them twice, and they said, "Hey, we're talking to marketing." Actually, I wonder if I could probably find the DM in like 2 seconds.
You think maybe it's the demographic because they feel like maybe not enough people that would actually use it are watching it? I'm just thinking outside the box.
Maybe, but for something like a billboard, forget the advertisement on my channel, which is millions of people. They can use it for their own advertisement a lot. I mean, a billboard on there, they can market it to whoever they want, because at the end of the day, it's still a funny story, I think, if it's like
100%. Yes. And honestly, they would benefit immensely.
The last thing they said, our team, so I messaged them once. They said, okay, thanks for letting us know. Basically, I messaged them again. They said, okay, our team is still looking for a potential collab. We'll let you know. So I'm kind of on a holding pattern now. We'll see if anything comes of it.
You're probably going to get it, man. Who else is doing something like this? I'm sure you'll get it.
And it's not that expensive. It's only like it's a few $1,000 to get even a large billboard,
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can also get heavily paid for this. So back to that question, what do you think, or what do you plan on doing with your platform now that it's growing and it's already at a very large size? What are your thoughts as far as what you'd like to do otherwise?
It's a good question. My answer changes literally every day. Obviously there's really a few main routes when you're doing this. One is to stay the social media route, kind of transition into YouTube, which is what I think I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I'll start out with, I think I want to do that right now. Transition into YouTube, where there's real money. TikTok doesn't really pay shit. So create original content there, longer form videos, whether it's pranks, whether I'm doing sketch comedy, whatever it is. A lot of people obviously try to transition into acting, traditional acting, like Jimmy Tatro, if you know who that is, started his YouTube videos. He was a guy, he had a big YouTube channel, Life According to Jimmy, I think, built up millions of subscribers. And surprisingly, it's probably not what I would have done, but he just kind of gave up social media and has transitioned to traditional film now. And the third route is kind of to be like a stand-up comedian of sorts. I don't think I have any interest in that, because you need a good set. At the end of the day, no matter how funny you are on camera, you need a good set to roll with. You need to spend hours and hours and hours writing material for something like that. And I think I'm much better at coming up with funny scenarios and videos and pranks and things like that.
Absolutely. No, it's good that you're kind of aware of that, and not to say that you wouldn't potentially do well at it, but it's kind of good that you have that. You know kind of where your niche is, and you're going full force into it. That's awesome.
Maybe I go to OnlyFans if all else fails. Who knows?
Yo, by the way, speaking of OnlyFans, they are brilliant with that guerrilla marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're not doing adult content anymore. All of these dudes start paying for 1 million accounts. They're like, oh shit, we're gonna lose this. And then at the last minute they go, you know what? We're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And then I actually believe them. Because I heard they were getting $1 billion from somewhere. I thought that was legitimate. And I was like, wow, a lot of these girls are going to be they're going to have to give away their fancy apartments.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. As if In-N-Out Burger was just going to stop selling burgers, right? Like I knew this wasn't going to happen to the extent they were pushing for. So.
Sure. And even if they did, man, there would be another site that would pop up or something. I mean, there'd always be another option.
Yeah,
100%, dude.
I have no interest taking. Maybe I'll take pictures of my dad or something, and without his knowledge, and sell them. I don't know. A million ways to make money here.
100%, man. What was it like growing up, though? Were you kind of the prankster when you were younger? Were you a total jokester?
Yeah, I was always a class clown. I wasn't so much of a prankster. I never really set up a lot of pranks. I was just. My philosophy, I consider myself a comedian at the end of the day, whether I'm a sit down or stand up comedian or whatever it is. And as such, I would always just go for the laugh. Whatever it was, wherever it was, didn't matter how serious or tense the situation was or where we were, classroom, someone's giving a speech. I couldn't help myself, and I still can't. Whether I'm in public, I just have to always go for a laugh. If I see it, I take it.
That's good, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, so teachers either... I was actually a very good student, basically a straight A student, always through high school, middle school, college. So teachers either loved me or hated me because I would always participate. I was always answering their questions. I was always present. I would never really sleep in class. I was always getting good grades, but I was a class clown jackass too. So as long as they could put up with that and they recognized that, I meant it in good faith, we were cool.
That's crazy, man. And that's honestly, that's a very big blessing, man, because you can fuck around that much in school and still do that well. That doesn't happen, man. Most class clowns are not doing well in class. So quite frankly, you must be a pretty smart dude because that's not common. But because I was going to say, if you were doing badly, you're about to say something, but let me just quickly throw this in.
Oh, you're good.
If you were fucking up in school, your teachers probably would have had your dad over for PTA. And they would have said, your kid's not going to really amount to much if he keeps this up. But if you're getting straight A's, bro, like, what are they going to say? So that's why I was going to say, if you weren't doing well and they said what they said based on your jokes, and you end up years later making a massive social media account with this following, it would really slap them in the face because their $50K salary would be you get where I'm going? So it's kind of wild.
And I have no interest in showing up any of that. Maybe one or two of the teachers I could think of off the top of my head. I would love to go back and put a middle finger in their face. But most of them, I mean, teachers the freaking toughest job in the world. I recognize that. I got nothing but love for almost all of them. Like you said, I almost studied hard and got good grades so that I could be a jackass, if that makes sense. It gave me kind of carte blanche to be able to make jokes and say what I wanted. Because if I was getting Fs, then I was just a problem child. No teacher wanted to have me around, so I made sure I got good grades.
Speaking of problem child, who do you got your money on?
I got my money on the problem child. Got to represent team YouTube.
Yeah, honestly, man, I think he's gonna win. I really do.
Why not? It's different. It's technically different sports. He's a boxer, whether we like it or not. I'm sure he'd get his ass kicked by a real good boxer.
Right.
But he can take anyone in like the UFC. Why not? Yeah,
it's just funny that people will never give him that credit. They refuse to. People. It's just funny how human nature is. He doesn't really get. He likes the hate because it ends up good. Any publicity is good publicity. In that sense, I think he's going to take it. It's just I can't wait for the fight. I'm stoked. Because if Woodley, I just want to see Woodley get the tattoo. That's going to be great.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he made a mockery out of Askren. And, I think Woodley's probably better than Askren, but it's still, if he could just sit down Ben in less than a round, I mean, I don't think Woodley has a chance, honestly.
Yeah, I mean Woodley's definitely a lot better, but I don't think.
And probably will train much more. We could tell Ben did not train much. So yeah, I don't want to put them in the same category, but still,
for sure. Okay, but back to you, my man.
Yeah. And when I fight Ludacris, by the way, put your money.
What was that thing where you did with NLE Choppa, by the way? I didn't even know who the heck that guy was until I
yeah, it was just a stitch with him.
You guys actually, but he didn't know. Okay.
We didn't actually collab. No. You're talking about the TikTok where he's like, this herb helps with erectile dysfunction. You're talking about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
didn't.
He was
actually endorsing that? It was a joke.
No, he really is like some herbal fucking, doctor now. They call him NLE. So he promoted that. That video blew up. And the reason why I did that is because I got tagged in that video probably 600 times. Because naturally, anything that circulates TikTok that has to deal with like erectile dysfunction, you see my name tagged in the comments all over the place. So I check it out and I'm like, oh, this will be funny. So I just made a stitch.
That's awesome. And now a question that I think a lot of people are wondering, and you might have mentioned it. What's the story with your dad? Meaning, is your mom around? I know it's a pretty personal question, but I'm kind of just curious.
I'm at her house right now. So yes, she is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She's all good. She's still kicking, alive and well. They're divorced. They divorced when I was like 10, 11 maybe. But they still get along. She's actually, people always wonder who films. I wish there was a good answer. Like there's a secret filmographer. She's filmed a couple of my things before. It's basically whoever I can get, any friends that are around. I've had my mom film a couple of things for me. No, she loves the videos. She thinks it's awesome because they're not on her. So,
How come? Is there a reason? What do you think her reaction would be to them?
She's not as much of a character as my dad. My dad's obviously a clear character, so it wouldn't make as good of videos. But she's very smart. She's very clever. She's actually given me a couple ideas on videos. She's like, oh, you should do this to your dad.
Maybe a little bit sinister. Like, ooh.
Oh yeah, we scheme together. Don't worry.
That's fucking great.
But now the reactions wouldn't be as great.
I hear that. It's funnier, man. Father to son is just a funnier dynamic, no matter how you spin it. Unless your mom was just such a funny her reactions were funny, then it would work. Right. But something about father to son. What also just gives it the shock factor is the keeper, man. Like when I saw you doing the videos, if it was just two white guys, it would definitely be hilarious. Don't get me wrong. But as soon as I saw the keeper, I said, "Oh my, wait a minute, they're Jewish. Oh, that's fucking great." It automatically just goes,
Oh yeah, it adds a layer. Part of the reason I thought it would be so successful too. There was two main accounts I saw on TikTok. I don't know if you've heard of them. One of them is Young Yosa. He pranks his African father. You ever seen that kid?
No, I haven't.
No. So
but I have seen the thing that has been going viral is that African guy that. There's something that someone does wrong that could have so easily been done the right way. So he goes and does it the right way and then goes like this.
Yeah. Motherfucker has over 100 million followers now.
Crazy. That guy went viral.
What? I don't understand. Dude,
pissed
look.
Off? Are you pissed?
No, I'm not. No. At the end of the day, here's my philosophy on TikTok. First off.
But hold your thought that you were going to make before, by the way.
Sure.
Remember? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll go back to that real quick. I'll just say, so this guy pranks his African father, and that's what he titles it. Pissing off my African father, part 1 through a million, just like me. And it's funny because his father speaks in a different language, and it's very like niche kind of, and everyone likes seeing, someone of a different culture. It's funnier. I don't know why. There's another guy named Ozzy Koi who has over 5 million followers on the app. He pranks his Arab father. And the father speaks in Arabic, right? And it's this whole thing. I was like, well, let me prank my Jewish father. And it adds a layer of uniqueness, I guess. So that's why I thought it was more special to go that route. So now back to TikTok. Look, anyone who tells you that they understand the TikTok algorithm or that there's like a lot of rhyme or reason to it or they know how to crack it is a fucking liar, okay? There's very little rhyme or reason to it. The person who created the algorithm is locked in a dungeon somewhere 50 feet underwater and they won't let him out. Okay. And they're like keeping him alive on life support. That's my theory. Because I've studied, and I'm saying that as I studied it. I've studied it. I've been using it for 8 months and I've been very successful on the app, but I attribute it to 10% of it is making sure you have the right, content, the right editing, the right everything, and 90% of it is just luck. So a guy like that, Cabby Lane, who you brought up, who just does this. It's funny, sure, but is it 100 million followers funny? No. At the end of the day, TikTok kind of picks and chooses who they want to push out, right?
Wow.
So I still think he deserves every follower he gets completely, because I think anyone who puts themselves out there and constantly makes videos deserves every follower they get, no matter what. Even Addison Rae, right? If you know her, all she does is shakes her ass on camera, and she has like 90 million followers. Not a lot of talent there, you could argue, but at the end of the day, she's still putting herself out there, constantly filming and working. So I do think she does deserve every follower. So that's kind of my take on someone
That's crazy though, that it's 90, that you think of 90% of it's luck.
Yeah. Again, and 90% of it's luck, but you have to have the 10% of skill that comes first. So I'm not saying that any schmuck can just go on and start posting and be like, oh, well, it's mostly luck, I'll try and get viral. No, that's not really how it works. You have to put some effort into your videos. You have to know your videos are good first, or at least viral potential, viral worthy. They have to, people have to like them.
Mm-hmm.
But once you've done that, then it's mostly luck. Because there's so many videos, there's so many creators I see who have great videos, make great content. They get no love, they get no followers, because you're competing, right, with like 2 billion people on the platform. There's not room for everyone. So TikTok kind of picks and chooses, and you have to hope you fall in their favor at the end of the day.
It's really crazy how that is.
Yeah.
It's a tough world, man. I mean, ultimately, most things people try don't work out. But I think largely there's also this natural feeling people get when they watch something, where even if it's scripted, it flows. So with your content, with what you put out, your dad's reactions, whether your dad knows you're doing it or not, and does he? I imagine most of the time he doesn't, even though he might have.
Yeah, most of the time. No. Honestly, most of the time he does. Of course he does sometimes. Sometimes I have to film ads, right? I have to do things where, of course, I need him on board for. But no, it certainly started out. There's not a lot of smoke and mirrors. I mean, like, what you see is what you get. You could probably go through my channel with a cookie cutter and find some videos that were obviously planned, or I needed him, like I did this do or drink video with the alpaca there, and he spun the bottle. I don't know if you saw that one. Like, obviously that one I need to plan.
I don't think I saw that one.
But me, when I poured like Tide detergent on my head, you see one of the first videos.
That one I saw, yeah.
Like, no, that was real. And I really did go to the hospital, and it really was like a bad experience. And I had to get some shit done on my eyes, and I was like in bandages for a little while. There's no smoke and mirrors there. Like, all that shit was real.
Damn, what people do for the gram, huh?
People will do for, yeah. I mean, that was my third video actually on the app. And so I knew at that point there was absolutely no turning back. And thank goodness it blew up. Thank goodness it went viral. I would have been very angry if it didn't.
100%. When you had the neck brace and you said your dad was basically your butler, and he went and got you the Slurpee. Can you get me a Slurpee, Dad? He goes,
yeah.
Really? And you're like, yes, please. He comes back, gets you the Slurpee. This is amazing.
He's a great sport. Yeah, I'm like that one. At the end of that video, obviously, I had him like feed me grapes. I was in this like king outfit. At the end of that, like, obviously, I'm like, Dad, can you help me out? Usually, it takes a lot of convincing, right? I'm like, Dad, just humor me, just do this, like, come on, and he'll help me out at the end of the day. But for things like scaring him and stuff, I can't really tell him, because you need a natural reaction for stuff like that.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is great. I have a buddy of mine actually he doesn't even know I did this podcast with you. He's gonna be so shocked. I can't wait to show it. It's gonna be awesome.
Hell yeah.
So
New York too?
Yeah, so I grew up in Brooklyn. I live in Florida now. I moved here 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
so a lot of my very close friends, I've stayed friends with a lot of my high school friends. So we have a whole WhatsApp group. We're always talking. So a lot of them know you, actually. A lot of them have shared your content and they know you. So definitely going to be a nice little shock to them when they see your face on my podcast.
Perfect. We'll do a fan meetup one of these days.
Dude, listen. Do a lot of religious people? I imagine you grew up religious, right? To some degree.
My dad is not nearly as religious as the videos make him seem. He actually doesn't really wear the yarmulke like in public. So he's not. I wouldn't call him Orthodox. I would call him like Orthodox, in between Reform, kind of, and Orthodox. So
I thought he was totally. Oh, okay, I didn't
he's
know.
not full. I think as the years go by, it changes every year. To be honest, which is usually the case with just most people in the world, you get less and
Right.
less religious, right? So we grew up differently. Would always go to temple. I went to Hebrew school and everything for a little while. And as soon as I turned about bar mitzvah age, I was kind of like, I didn't really care much about religion. So I kind of, went off. He is, we celebrate the major holidays, right? That's about it at the end of the day. He doesn't not use technology on Saturdays. He doesn't do that. He doesn't not drive. He'll do whatever on Shabbat. Doesn't matter. So that's why I call us kind of like in between Reform and Orthodox.
Oh, okay. Because I honestly thought that you were kind of the kid that decided not to be. I thought that was part of the whole thing. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, that's more of the shtick, which honestly,
it works in your favor, though. I think
that's what I'm saying. I don't push that. Yeah, I don't let people. I don't just freely offer up that information in my videos. I'm like, why not? Let's push it as he's this extremely Orthodox Jew, which honestly, yeah, he's not really, but I didn't pretty much go to temple once I turned about 13.
Right.
After that, except for like the major holidays, I never went back. So
right. All right. So that's also what, like I said, what gives it that extra flavor is he seems like that conservative, well-to-do, go get a degree, religious Jewish father, and you're this bad, rebellious, irreligious kid, and you're doing everything he doesn't want you to do. You're right. So it just everything.
It's a
conclusive.
Good dynamic. Yeah. It's a great dynamic to bounce off of, and I kind of realized that right away. So I was trying to push that as much as possible, and you can also see like there's some videos you see where he's not wearing a yarmulke.
Yeah, I noticed that. I just thought maybe when he leaves the house, I actually thought because of your fuckery, because you just embarrassed the shit out of him, he figured, you know what? I'd rather people not know that we're Jewish. I thought maybe that's what it was. Because there's definitely.
There is some element of that, not because of my videos. I did not prank the religion out of him. Don't worry. Okay. But there is some element of that just in the general public. You'll talk to some Jews a lot of times who they won't freely offer up that they're Jewish, right? There's a lot of anti-Semitism still in the world. Comparatively, there's not that much. I don't feel unsafe ever. Like if I told someone I'm Jewish, hell, I went to college in the Midwest, right on the border of Indiana and Kentucky, right? Like
I remember you mentioning this on Ari's podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, like my whole fraternity knew I was Jewish, and like nobody cared at the end of the day. Like I don't feel any different, but a lot of people will not just advertise that they're Jewish to people, right? Because a lot of people, you can see, I would love if you saw my DMs a lot on my Instagram, just free Palestine comments left and fucking right. And we're not.
I don't understand why people feel the need to do that, as if you mentioned it ever as if any of your videos are political. People have to throw politics. It doesn't make any sense.
It's ridiculous. And
did you ever in any of your videos make any comment in that?
No, never. Of course not.
It's just so funny how people have to do that. It's like, what does it serve? It's so interesting.
We've never even forget politics. Not even like there's never been like an Israeli flag, even like nothing that could possibly be misconstrued. Yeah, the amount of free fucking Palestine, it's insane. It really is. And you know what though? I'm not complaining at all. I don't care about it at all. It doesn't affect me at all. If you're trying to be an influencer, you're gonna get fucking hate mail no matter what. So anyone
100%.
Anyone who like really is angry about that, I think is an idiot. Like what you're in for at the end of the day. But it drives up my engagement, right?
Oh, for sure, man.
Fuck. I mean, the haters help, so I welcome it.
For sure. Well, speaking of haters, now we can go down a rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. Your friends that were close with you before you got big. Yeah. Are you friends with most of them now, or did some of them fall off?
I would say there's no real. I wish I had some juicy stories of like someone coming back from the dead and hitting me up and being like, "Hey, dude, been a while, been a long time." Like, there's none of that really. I'm still friends with everyone. Like I'm at the end of the day, I'm really not famous. I'm like mildly famous, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like I am a billionaire. You know, I can't even afford to move out of my father's apartment. But
Right.
all my friends know I'm still friends with 100% of them that I was friends with before.
Right. I mean, I think that'll definitely change as far as the financial end of things, as long as you do things smartly. You have, when you have that big of a following, there's so much potential, man. I mean, there are very successful people I know in the real estate sphere that are trying to do what you're doing, not necessarily with the content, but the number of followers.
Right.
You know, so ultimately, when you can leverage that, I mean, whichever avenue you decide to take. So now because you're on TikTok and you said it's kind of hard to monetize that. If you switch over to YouTube, I mean, right off the bat, man, you're going to have all of those people, or at least a large percentage, are going to follow you over to YouTube. So you've already built such a strong foundation.
And that's the goal. So
Yeah,
at Jake's Funny on YouTube. Subscribe.
Absolutely. I'm going to drop everything, brother. I'm going to drop all the links.
Perfect.
And I definitely will keep watching your stuff, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. All the likes and shares and comments. At the end of the day, I mean, that's my job. That's what I get paid in, which I hate, because to be honest, between me and you, like, I hated social media growing up. I had no interest in going.
I still don't like it now, dude. It's so hard for me to get into it.
Yeah. No, it sucks in so many ways. And especially one of the worst ways is this, like, addiction, right? This dopamine addiction we've created of making, checking your inbox and be like, all right, how many likes did I get? How many comments?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And I find myself doing that all the time. But what else can I do? It's not because I'm like, I want to feel good. It's like, no, this is like literally my career. So I need likes and comments, and it sucks, but it's what
I think there's definitely, I could not agree with you more, because even for my podcast, which has considerably less of a following than yours, I started a year ago, and I'm gaining on 1,000 subscribers, and one of my videos has almost 13,000 views. So for me, that's huge. And these are long form videos. So I started this out of nowhere. And I already have a 5-digit episode. I have about 40,000 total views. So I see it's moving. I see it's getting there. I know I'm going to get to 1,000 subscribers soon. I just know it.
Are you able to monetize once you hit 1,000? Do you have all the watch hours?
I'm getting the watch hours. No, I don't have enough watch hours. I'm getting there. I probably have around 3,000.
Okay. More than me.
But on YouTube, you're saying?
Yeah, I got nothing on YouTube. So
yeah, I mean, but like I said, man, you have that fan base, so you just carry it over. But I mean, I've never missed an episode weekly since I started. I started a year ago in August, so now it's August now. You're going to be the 50. You'll be the 55th episode.
Oh, I feel less than important now. So
would you prefer? Yeah, maybe you would have preferred to be the 69th. We could have.
Yeah, you should hit me up back. I'll be 50. I'll come back. Why not?
So yeah, man. I mean, I'm by the way, not that I'm some big YouTuber. I am interviewing a guy who is very good with YouTube shortly. But anything I could help you with, man, when you are ready to start, like any kind, and I'm sure you're going to do great. Whether or not I give you any advice, but more than happy to share whatever I do know, because I'm learning. I'm always learning. Every day.
Yeah, there's much more rhyme or reason to YouTube. YouTube's much more of an established platform. It makes much more sense. So TikTok, like I said, is its own. TikTok is the Wild West. Everybody hates TikTok. Every social media star fucking hates TikTok. Instagram, YouTube, they're fine. Snapchat kind of sucks too. But YouTube, actually, it's funny. I kind of made a deal to create original content only on YouTube for shorts. Obviously, YouTube Shorts, right? Mm-hmm. They're pushing that hard. They basically officially just launched that. So they're going to start pushing that very heavily these next few months. So you're going to see a lot of shorts take priority over long form content, which might not be good for you. I don't know. But I am starting to make shorts only content that will only appear on YouTube and not TikTok. So
I think shorts, I've been doing shorts. Some of them got a decent amount of views, nothing crazy. I think ultimately there are very, very, very few people that can succeed with long form, but that's where the money is though. You can't monetize shorts. Shorts are a way to build your page.
Not yet though.
So you can't shy away from long form. You simply have to be fucking good at whatever you're doing. There's definitely an element of luck, and you have to be consistent. So, and you know that because you are. So I mean, those are just the keys. And I think consistency is the absolute. But if you suck and you're consistent, it doesn't make any fucking difference. But hopefully if you can pick it up, then the consistency is everything. So yeah, that's what I've realized, because there have been a couple of podcasts also by Jewish guys that I've just come across that have a similar amount of followers or things like that, but they'll miss weeks of content, and their followers just fall off. You know, they're like, okay, well, this guy's not consistent. I can't rely on him to put out content. I'm not interested. And it's such a key component. So, and I have an editor in Pakistan. What'd you say?
Go ahead. And it's tough to never miss. Like, you have to always be on top of it.
Yeah. So that's why I hired an editor.
Yeah.
So he does all that for me. So it frees up a ton of my time, because otherwise, dude, I never would have been at this point, for sure.
Smart. Yeah, no, consistent. It is tough. People don't forgive you if you take a break, and people, at the end of the day, social media is not one of the toughest jobs, right? I could be doing hard manual labor, of course, and I recognize that. However, I will say that with this whole process, I have worked way more than anything else in my entire life, and it's not even close. It really is a full-time job and then some. Obviously, it's just more, instead of, you know, like hauling bricks over your head, it's more just staring in front of computer screens and trying to write and just taking energy drinks and, like, you know, just a lot of the mental warfare.
A bit of coke off your dad's keeper, whatever makes things.
You know it. Yeah, those ones don't appear on TikTok though.
But truthfully, this shit's much harder. You know, carrying heavy things is hard. It's manually hard.
Right.
When it takes brains, I mean, that's when anyone can carry things for long periods of time. They'll be physically tired, but anything mentally draining is a lot harder, and that's why you're rewarded more for it. It's also a lot harder to succeed at it. So yeah, you know, that's really what it comes down to. Yeah,
100%. And I figure you know, I'm a lot smarter than I am strong, so I'll go the mental route and try and write shit and make people laugh. And I'm always going for the laugh. And sometimes I'll cross the line, or I'll go too far, or I'll miss the laugh. But you know, that's my job, and then I'll pick it back up where I left off, and, you know, keep it going. So I just hope I can. I hope I can get more laughs than failures at the end of the day. That's all you hope for as a comedian. So
absolutely, dude. Okay, so that definitely wraps it up for this episode. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Make sure to check out Jake's Funny on TikTok, on Instagram. When he makes his YouTube channel, check him out on YouTube. And leave your comments, subscribe, make sure to follow all of his pages as well. Jake, thank you, bro, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
You got it. I will talk to you soon, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I'm looking forward to when you hit 1,000 subscribers. Good luck, my friend.
It'll be soon, man. It'll be soon. I'll talk to you.
Awesome. All right. We'll throw a party. All right. Take care.
Bye.